So at TalPods, we're a team of entrepreneurs who are passionate about tech, and we're also passionate about nurturing young talent. We noticed that the skill gap in tech was still largely unsolved, in the most effective ways. And so in 2021, we devised our own model to try and do this. And it's an on-the-job apprenticeship model, which I would like to explain how it works through the story of Mahmoud. Mahmoud is a hero who, when we met him, he had already been through 9 years of challenges as a Syrian refugee in Lebanon. By the time we met him 2 years ago, he was married and he started a family, but he was working at a bakery and, the financial crisis has hit. And so what he was earning was the equivalent of $50 a month, which is really nothing to get by. And so he was determined to get into a tech career in order to provide a better life for his family. He worked tirelessly on himself. He worked 20 hours a day between his job and studying. He pursued a computer science degree through a free university. He took on courses through Coursera, courtesy to some Jusoor scholarships actually. And he completed a boot camp and really prepped himself up to be a solid junior level software engineer. But no one would hire him. 2 problems. In Lebanon, companies, it's illegal for them to hire Syrian software engineers. As for international companies, every company that he would come across, they're looking for mid to senior level engineers. This is a problem not only faced by Syrian refugees, but entry-level software engineers across the board, they face this problem. Companies, generally speaking, fast-growing startups or tech companies, they're looking for talent who can hit the ground running and produce very fast, solving complex problems. That's mid to level senior engineers, and then usually not looking for junior engineers because they require a lot of hand-holding, and to begin with, they are low productivity. A mid-level engineer usually takes about 3+ years of experience, right, through the typical route of industry. Now, that's proficiency that really has to be gained on the job, and so there is no boot camp or course that can simulate this. And so really we have this catch-22 problem because companies are not providing that pathway for this young talent to actually develop to these levels. And so, how did we solve this problem? So our model, our approach is to say, we will growth hack the competency of the talent so that immediately today they will match the standards and productivity of a senior engineer on the job. So how we did this with Mahmoud, for example, we started out with so we're looking at the second column here, right? This is preparation period of 3 months where we trained him up to a minimum standard that we needed him to be before we go into the main phase of the program. And that standard is called an associate engineer. Now we get to the actual main parts of the program, that's the apprenticeship. And enters Callow, right? Callow here is our client, and they are one of the fastest growing food tech companies in the MENA region. They're based in Bahrain. They came to us with an urgent requirement to fill a position for a senior full stack software engineer. Now, what we proposed and what we gave to them is we said, okay, we're gonna take Mahmoud, who's an associate engineer, and we're gonna pair him up with Hamad. Hamad there on that picture, you can see him in the pair with Mahmoud. He is a top lead engineer that is provided by TalPods. He's a full-time member of the TalPods team. He has 8 years experience, and he's an expert in the stack that is used by Callow. The way the model works is that Mahmoud executes full-time for Callow, and Hamad augments Callow, spending 1 to 2 hours a day, coaching him intensely on the tasks at hand, enhancing his productivity and also the standard of the code so that it immediately matches the standard of a senior engineer, and he guarantees that before it is actually committed to Callow. So the formula is Mahmoud plus Hamad as a combined unit is the equivalent of a senior engineer filling that position. So that fills the requirement for Callow, and therefore Callow actually pays us for that service. And from there, we pay Mahmoud a 4-digit dollar salary, already giving him, that financial breathing space that he needs. Now, there's another thing that is going on which is interesting here, right? Mahmoud is in a unique position now, which no other entry-level engineer would experience, is that he is not being exposed to junior-level work because of the assumed position. He's working on senior-level projects of a much higher degree of complexity, number one. Number two, he is learning from the best on a daily basis by this dedicated mentor. And number three, he is following, under our supervision and under the guidance of Hamad, a talent development structure, right? And so because of these things, this process, which usually takes about 3 years to get to a mid-level engineer, we compress that into 1 year. So it's an accelerated program, right? And so you see 1 year down the line, now he started the placement in January of last year. 1 year, just February of this year, Calo has certified him here as engineer level 2, which is the technical word for a mid-level engineer. Calo hired him full-time, and they doubled his salary. So now he's actually earning really at the top level of software engineers in general in Lebanon. And he's managed to build a beautiful family which he can provide for comfortably. Now, the great thing about this model is that it solves an intense problem for companies. Flowered is one of the largest e-commerce platforms in MENA. They came to us with an urgent need to fill mid-level engineering positions. This is where they find scarcity of talent in the market. And today, through the same model, we supply 20% of Flower's entire engineering team. As Ziad testifies here, he says, through the model, we open the door for more young talent to be come in and be long-term champions in the team, right? So it's a win-win situation. Final slide. We have deployed over 20 engineers from high inflation economies into startups across Middle East and North Africa. And also we have our first client in Silicon Valley as well, so we made a start there. And these guys, by the way, as soon as they complete that first year, they're high in demand in the market. So we don't have the thousands in our numbers just yet, right? This program is very focused, it's highly tailored. Each individual requires a lot of resources. But what we do have is a proven model. And so with the right support, we can really scale this up and transform the lives of many young people. Thank you.